Let's compare Slumdoge Billionaires community to the Doge Pound community, and let's see who comes out on top, in my opinion. I really wanted to compare these two different communities because it's quite rare to have two very similar looking products that have been released around the same time, and being able to compare the different approaches to community management and what that impact has been on the NFT projects itself. I have not invested in either of these projects, so I have no reason to favor one or the other. I am going to try to keep this as rational and as objective as possible. I'm truly looking at these projects from a community management perspective, not necessarily do I think that this project is better than the other? From an NFT perspective, we all know how important community is. I'm going to take a deep dive into the Discord communities, and I have not looked at these Discords at all, so I will be looking at this from completely fresh eyes. I'll be looking for several factors to determine which community is stronger, in my professional opinion. I'll be looking at several factors. The first is the onboarding process. What are my initial reactions to join the community as a new member? Is there a strong brand? Access to information is really important. How many channels are in the Discord? Is it overwhelming? Is it easy for me to find the information that I need as a new member to get started? What is the support like? Is there enough moderation in the group? I'll be looking at the admins. Are they dealing with spam in the group? Is there any signs of toxic behavior, or has that been removed? Do members have enough support, so are questions being answered in the group? What is the general vibe like? What are the engagement strategies that the mods and admins are using to encourage more participation in the community? And lastly, the quality. So I'll be looking at the general content shared in the community itself. You can definitely tell if a community just has a ton of flippers that all they want to do is talk about the price. Compare that to members who really, truly care about the long-term impact of the project. They are hodlers, they don't care about the floor price necessarily, and they really want to see this become a long-term success. That to me is the sign of a quality community. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the Discords. Okay, looking at the Doge Pound's website first up, just to get my first initial reactions if I am a new member going to check out the NFT project. I can see the branding here on the left with their logo. It's really clearly laid out. I love the fact that they have a join us button. It's really prominent, so you can join the community. And they have this scrolling gallery of all the cool dodges that you could buy. Looking at a generic roadmap, it's great to have this really high up on their website. And this metaverse looks pretty cool, I've got to admit. So they're looking to create a 3D version of the 2D dodges that currently exist. They have a sign here that pretty much tells me the project has officially sold out and that I can buy on the secondary. I love these FAQs. Before I even join the community, I have a whole bunch of questions, and it's great that I can already go through this. Let's just take a look at how comprehensive the FAQ is. Okay, it's like 1-line, 2-line answers. Guess it gets to the point. It'll be interesting to see what the FAQs are like in their Discord. And they've got the team members at the bottom. I've said before, it's super important to have full transparency around the team behind the project. Now let's compare this website to the Slumdoge Billionaires website. Straight away, I'm seeing, really cool branding. Their logo is massive here on the right. Bear in mind that Slumdoge actually has a much lower floor price at about 0.04 ETH the last I checked, whereas the Doge Pound was trading around 0.83. This is a cheaper project to get into, but let's see whether the quality still stands. I've got to admit, reading through this site, they have a lot of personality that comes out. I mean, the name's pretty funny, straight up. I love that they've got the member benefits here. I think, to be honest, this is an advantage over the Doge Pound straight away. If I am considering joining the community, if I'm considering buying into the project, I can see straight away what the member benefits are. Doge Pound did include some of the benefits. They're obviously looking to create a 3D version of their avatar, but I just like when it's really clearly laid out like this. It's kind of like the benefits for dummies. It's really fun that they have the style section too, so I can see all the unique looking avatars. I think there's a ton of 10K avatars that have now been released. So if you're looking at releasing your new NFT and it's a 10K collection, I think you're really going to have to showcase why each of these is unique. I like how they have this origin section and it creates a sense of mystery. Feels like to me their website is telling more of a story. They've included this visual, which I think gives a really strong identity of what the community could look like. I imagine this is like the hangout space for the slum dodgers. I don't know, what do you think? Bone City. It's like a cool name. I love how they've got these different names for different hangouts. They're offering merch as part of their benefits. They have their roadmap here, but I must admit that Doge Pound, I like how they have the percentages and what they're looking to do at each percentage. I guess I prefer the Doge Pound's roadmap to this roadmap. I'm glad that both of them have the roadmap on their website. And again, they have the team, which, as I mentioned, super important to have that transparency of who's behind the project. I don't have any Twitter accounts that I can follow. It seems like they're hiding a little bit behind the humor, although I think that's been okay for previous projects. When there's more supply, more people are going to want to see the quality of the people behind these projects. Think of NFTs like the seed rounds. Why should I invest my money in an NFT project? I need to know who I'm backing. All right, let's do this. This is the Doge Pound's initial welcome. So as soon as I request to join the server, it asks me to verify first. So let's go ahead and do that. And now I am verified and you can see that all the channels come up. I'm going to start with the start here section. I love how that's really clearly labeled and they have the green emojis. Super clear to me. This is where I've got to start as a new member. Love how they have a thank you for joining Discord. Welcome to the wonderful community. I love how they have a shout out to where you go to engage with everybody. We would love to know where you're from. So they're requesting you to actually take part in the community and participate. So I like how they've got these instructions. It feels like somebody is personally welcoming me into the group. I also appreciate that there are people that are new to buying NFTs. This is a new space, so they actually give you some ways to get up to speed. Make sure that you don't get scammed. This is really talking people through, no matter where you are in your NFT journey. They're acknowledging that there are going to be some people that are new and just making them feel welcome and giving them the knowledge that they need to get started. It's funny that they say, please leave some claps and comment on the article. And then you can see down here, they've got love hearts and 100. What I do usually as a community manager is if I ask people to leave some claps, I actually am the first person to leave some claps. And it just encourages people to click on the emoji. Claps is actually referring to the Medium article. And when I clicked into it, it shows that they have 255 claps. One comment. It's good that they have a call out to that. I would actually encourage claps in the group as well. There's nothing wrong with creating an emoji here as a community manager to get things started where it is the clapping emoji. Just sync it all up. And there's a lot of information here for me if I am new to the project. What I would say as my first observation is, holy crap, it's a wall of text. I would actually recommend that they simplify this, maybe give me some steps, reduce the wording. What you could actually do is you already have this article here about how to buy and sell the NFT, and it's pretty comprehensive, the article itself. And I just feel like this is a lot for people. I'm pretty sure a majority of people wouldn't read to that extent. This is the first time that I have seen a Discord community really go through the steps as to what will happen after they've purchased an NFT. I think I would do this section differently personally because I like to keep things really concise where people don't have to read a wall of text. What I would do is have steps. So step 1, purchase the Doge Pound NFT. Step 2, type join in Doge House. 3, connect your wallet via the Collab Land DM. 4, change your profile pic to your favorite doggy. And yeah, that's like 4 steps, right? And instead of this wall of text, I've got like 4 lines. But overall, I mean, I'm nitpicking. I think generally speaking, I prefer to see more information than less. I am more than happy with this channel. I also love that they have the Doge House call out several times throughout this channel, and it's on brand as well. I love that they have this call out that if you are contacted by an imposter, please verify it. Alert our team immediately via DM. If you are going to the trouble of really talking through the beginnings of how to buy an NFT, etc., there's still going to be people that don't know who is part of the team. So I would actually maybe even list out some of the team members that they can get in contact with, and all I'd have to do is click on the link to straight away take me to a DM. I'd also say that if you're going to encourage people to go through to the announcements as the next step, then put the announcements underneath the start here, and then it just becomes easy process for people to go from 1 to 2 to 3. So I'm going to go through to the announcements now, as they've mentioned. I would actually recommend that they go to the FAQs next, or the rules, as one of the first things, rather than go to announcements. I'm going to click on the FAQs to see how comprehensive they are. They start off with the first question of how do I determine the rarity of my Doge Pound NFT? My recommendation would be to have a question more around the general mission and vision of the project. What is Doge Pound NFT? Who is behind it? What are they trying to achieve with this? Rather than the first question being, how do I determine the rarity? Which sounds very transactional, actually. I definitely would prefer to see something around the mission. I haven't seen anything actually around the mission. If I go to start here, it's actually very operational rather than the vision. I would definitely recommend to this project that they're putting more around the vision straight away so I can buy into the story. I actually don't really know what Doge Pound is all about. Let's take a look at the rules. I think the rules is generally pretty good. They are very strong about what they have zero tolerance. We have zero tolerance for rules and we will ban anyone doing it. I think this is confusing. We have zero tolerance for rules. Surely they have a lot of tolerance for rules, but they have zero tolerance for rule breaking. Maybe I'm nitpicking here. I think I get what they mean, but these should be really clear. I like how they have at the end here that the rules will be updated periodically. I think that what is really missing here is why these rules are important to their community. For instance, in the World of Women community, they have their mission and their vision and who they are and what their values are, and then they tie that to the rules. And I think that is the gold standard for what rules should look like in an NFT community. I'm going to go back to the announcements channel now. Let's see if they've pinned any messages. I would recommend that they pin some announcements because otherwise I'm going to have to scroll all the way to the top. What's the important announcements? I guess then I'm just looking at the most recent. So I would definitely recommend pinning announcements to your channels that are very, very important. And no matter what time you've entered this community, they're always going to be important for new members to take a look at. Otherwise, I'm sort of just scrolling up and I'm going to be looking at the latest announcement. That's it. I can't keep scrolling all the way up. For instance, they've asked, please share your skills with the community here on this sheet if you haven't yet. A great place for everyone to find resources. It's already getting buried in the announcements. So if that is something that is important and you want even new members to actually participate in, pin it to the channel. You have that option as the admin. And although I must admit, this is looking really, really cool. They've got some videos here of their collection, the fashion. Generally speaking, there are a lot of channels. I'm gonna look in the Doge house. It seems to be the main channel. I would put this up much further up in the list if it is going to be like your general channel, because it's important. This is like where your hangout is. I think the bots are less important than your hangout space. I would rearrange, I guess, the order of some of these channels. Generally speaking, there is a lot of chatter in the Doge House channel, so that's good to see. I don't see like any negativity here. It's just general conversation. There's a lot around bread and pizza. So there's insider community jokes, which is a sign of a strong community. So I like to see that. I also see a lot of these like welcome messages that are constantly being updated. So that's really great to see. Good work to the mods. I can see that they're generally really active in the community and they're constantly welcoming new members. They are updating members, especially new people, to NFTs around what to expect next. I love to see other members welcoming new members as well. That's a really great sign that people are engaged. Personally, I am a huge dog lover. I have a dog myself, a little King Charles Cavalier, and he is the sweetest. So I love seeing real images of dogs. I think this is the coolest channel. It's so cute. I love this. This is, I mean, you automatically get 1,000,000 points from me for just the fact that you're featuring real dogs within the community. I think that's a really strong approach. I also love that they have a story time channel. Yeah, it is active. I love this. You're encouraging people to create stories around their characters that they've purchased. And you can really get to know other members based on the stories. You can see that people are asking what's going to happen with these stories. There's a lot of fun channels in this community. I love the memes. I always check out the memes channels, which I'm sure a lot of community members do as well. I love this diamond hands. That's so funny. Love this. Props to the community. They're very, very funny. Good Night Moon. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. That is a classic children's book that they've adapted to include their Doge. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna give you like 1,000 marks to the creativity of this community. Come on, this is amazing. It's really great that they have a charity channel here. And I think again, when we're talking about the mission and the vision of this project, this should actually be featured right at the beginning. I'm seeing so much incredible activity in the community, but I'm not seeing it right from the start. I have to dig into the channels to find it. So shout this out more in the beginning. That's my recommendation to the community managers. I would be be talking about, like, how are you giving back to the communities, like especially around animal welfare, if that is your mission. I just think it's really great. People want to know, they're asking for updates on what they're doing with the charities. This is being worked on, they're saying. But yeah, I want to know more about this. It could really solidify that sense of belonging and people in the community having a stronger conviction around the project. Love that they have a community projects channel, but it is quiet. I don't know what is going on here. It's great that they have a suggestions channel. It's very, very important that you're listening to your community members. There's a few channels here that I'm kind of confused about, like the Chill Zone. Isn't that the Doge House as well? Like, I think it's confusing. Why would I go to the Chill Zone versus the Doge House? Also, the verify roles is really, really low down here. And usually that's something that you're putting further up so that you can verify your Doge. I don't think it's miscellaneous. So I would be putting that a little further up. I keep getting thrown around the channel list. I'm going back to the roadmap now. And, you know, I appreciate that the roadmap, there's not too much of a scroll up. So it's great that they have listed exactly what they plan to do across the different stages. It's very, very clear. I know what they're working on. I know what they're planning to do. I still don't really see much around vision. So that's one thing that I'd say is missing from this community. In terms of the mods, they have plenty of mods here, which is great. They have different tiers, and I like the names of the tiers as well. I'm not quite sure what Friendly Doge means, but it's pretty cool that they've got an influencers tier. That's the first time I've actually seen that in these NFT discords, that they've labeled some people influencers. That's pretty cool. So say from an onboarding perspective, I love how they have the start here section. They have comprehensive information around how to get started, even generally with NFTs, let alone to buy into this project, which I appreciate that they're spending a lot of time on the education element here. In terms of the number of channels, there are a lot, and I think there could be some consolidation here with the channels. There is activity in the community, although it's definitely not the most that I've seen compared to other Discord servers. I think they've got plenty of places for me to be able to find information. They do, generally speaking, a good job. I do want to see more around the vision and the mission and where they want to take this project over time and what the values that are important to the founders of this project. I don't know. I also don't know information about the founders. In fact, if I go to the FAQ, I don't see anything around the background of the team, and that's really, really important. Seeing more scammers, seeing more NFT rug pulls, and people are trying to do more background research behind the people behind the projects. In terms of the moderation, they've definitely got enough moderators in the server. I can see that the moderators are active in the community. So I'm going to say, generally speaking, they've done a good job with that. Engagement strategies. I love some of the channels here. Definitely giving a shout out to the In Real Life Dogs channel, the Storytime channel. The Dog Memes channel is actually one of the best memes channels that I've seen from a creativity perspective. That's off the charts. So I'd say the content is incredible from that perspective. I'm generally going to say it's a pretty healthy community. I must admit, from a new member's perspective, I'm not completely sold on whether to join this project, just because I still don't really know who is behind the project and why I should get really, really emotionally connected. I mean, I'm emotionally connected to the In Real Life channel, but that's about it. So with that in mind, let's now compare this with Slumdoge. All right, we're entering the Slumdoge Billionaires Club now. First up, I've noticed there are a lot fewer members in the Slumdoge Billionaires. This project is a newer project. They have 1,700 members compared to the Doge Pound, which has over 7,000 members. So let's go ahead and join and see what the onboarding is like. All right, first I have to complete some more steps. So let's go ahead and do that. I have to agree to the rules. Taking a look at the rules, it's the generic 3 options. Now I need to verify, so let me go ahead and do that. I am now verified. It was a generic verification process using a bot, which is great. Then you stop the riffraff from joining your server and making sure that the quality of a community is maintained. As soon as I joined, I clicked on the Welcome and Rules channel. I like how they've put this together. Straight up, I noticed that they have included a little bit more information around the project. Obviously, it's a 10,000 avatar collection, but they've just included a little bit more information. They said that they're immortalizing the soldiers of the Doge army. Not entirely sure what that is. I'm looking at it from completely fresh eyes here, but it is nice that at least they've included a little bit of language about the project. You can tell that they have a very distinct voice. Things like if you're riding the Doge wave, then there's no denying that you're a Slumdoge at heart. That tells me that this project is for Doge fans. Obviously the Doge Pound, of course, they have Doge fans too, and that's all well and good, but it's really nice that they have included this wording around that. What's really funny in their rules is that they've kept it to very, very minimal rules here. No shilling or spamming of other projects except Dogecoin. That makes it really, not only is that kind of funny, but it's really obvious to me that these guys are obsessed with Dogecoin, and I think you need to create some wording around that. Obviously the Doge Pound, they're assuming that you know straight up that because of the name, this is all about celebrating Doge. But what I like about Slumdoge Billionaires is that they just take that to the next level. Instead of just that assumption, they're really making it very, very visible here that Dogecoin is hugely celebrated in this community. They've kept the tone fun. I think they've done well with that. I definitely can see that more rules will have to be added over time. It just seems too simple, these rules. I like how they have this be safe and smart section because there is a lot of scamming going on. They have listed it very simply. If you need assistance with purchasing an NFT, which as we noted with the Doge Pound, they had a lot of information around that. Seems like this project still needs to catch up. They said that they have some explainer videos coming soon. But generally speaking, I like how simple the welcome message is. I'm not wading through a wall of information to get started. What is missing from this section is where do I go next, which the Doge Pound did have in their welcome message. I would like to see that included here. Where do I go next? With that in mind, I'm just going to click on the next channel, announcements. So first up, I can see that there is quite a lot of engagement in the announcements channel, which is always a good sign. I'm going to see whether they've pinned any messages. Yes, they have. So I love to see that there is a pinned message. It seems like the pinned message is all around marketing the project. So it's that generic win a Slumdoge NFT by tweeting about it, retweeting. This seems to be a time-sensitive tweet, and you can see that it ends Wednesday, 16th of June. We're well past that. We're now in mid-August. This should not be a pinned message anymore if the competition is over. Totally understand that you want to have members continue to promote the project, but this needs to be updated. Just going back to the announcements channel, it looks like they have released a new drop. It's called the Slumboginis, which it actually does look really cool, but I'm having to scroll up a lot to catch up on announcements. So yeah, just having a pinned announcement is really, really useful for people that are coming into the project later on. My initial reaction on the number of channels, it's funny how they have this much information. It's kind of got a funny brand, I must admit. They have things like most believer applications. Obviously, they're true to the brand in terms of the information itself. I did really like how the Doge Pound had a start here section. I think a lot of communities should think about having something like a start here so that I can get up to speed. I don't even know what Bone City is, what it looks like. Give me some visuals around it. Give me a bit more background information. So you can see here that when I click on the channel, it says we're building a virtual penthouse space to connect with other Slumdoge holders. I know it's on their website. Put one of those images from their website in this channel. Give me that sense of excitement. I really like how they have a help desk channel and they've put that quite high up the list. I think that's really, really helpful for people that are having issues with buying into the project. Just having a dedicated channel to that is awesome. Looking at the number of channels, we've got the kennel section, community bots. We have international dodgers, which I didn't see in the Doge Pound. Clearly they have a Chinese audience. It's cute that they have a please rebork instead of tweet, I guess. Slum Street Market, again, they've branded it. It's more interesting. It's great that they have the verified Doge channel further up compared to the Doge Pound. I think in terms of number of channels, it seems pretty similar to me compared to the Doge Pound. What I'm noticing here is that in Slumdoge, they've actually listed them out under more categories. So I'm not seeing like a wall of channels under a generic category. I can then collapse some of these channels that I'm not interested in potentially, and it just helps me minimize the channel list so I can focus on the ones that matter to me. I think what's a real shame is the general channel is named the general channel. Given that they have done so much around branding in this community, the general channel should be named something else. Just like with Doge Pound, they named their general channel something else. But you can see that there is conversation happening here. Even though it is a smaller community, it's certainly still active. Let's take a look at the memes. I want to compare and see whether the memes are just as good here as the other community. It does seem like there's a lot of memes here too, and they're pretty funny. I'd say that the memes channels are very important in both of these communities. There's a lot of creativity. Really positive to see the memes coming through. All right, the Most Believer application. I'm not sure whether this is like the mod application or whether this is something else that's like a internal community thing. Again, if I'm a new member of this community, I need to be informed of some of these insider things that have already been discussed in the community, and I'm just trying to get up to speed. I've looked at the pinned message and it says here to apply for a Most Believers visa, tell us a short story about your Slumdoge. So at least I can tell how to get involved. But I don't really know what this Most Believer application is about. There's a lot of stories that are being shared. All right, so looking at the right here, I can see that there is a different category for Most Believers and there's 15 people. I'm guessing this is the VIP section or the people that have been selected in the community as being the greatest supporters. And I love this. I think that's a really solid concept. The language truly resonates with the brand here, like the Most Believer. It's almost like the grammar has to be rubbish. People in the community are taking that to the next level. I want to apply to be a Most Believer. It's just funny, the Mostest Believer. It's funny how they're almost competing to become the biggest superfan of the project. In order to apply, they have to create a story around their Doge. And I think that's really well done. So in terms of encouraging engagement in the community, I think this is a really solid engagement strategy. And you can see that there's a lot of people that have submitted to become one of the mostest or most believers of their community. They have a Slumdoge Portraits and Slumborghini showroom section so that people can show off their own Slumdoges and Slumborghinis. I would love to see the more in real life aspect come into play as well, like I saw in the Doge Pound. It'd be pretty cool if you could like spot your version of the Lamborghini outside and you took a photo of it and shared it. It's almost like the celebrity lookalike competition that the World of Women did. At the end of the day, we all live in the real world too still. So connecting the real world to this online world, I think is really well done. So yeah, I'm missing that here. I must admit with the Doge Pound, they have more channels to create more of a sense of connection between community members. I would like to see more of that happen in here. So maybe more strategies around content to connect people together. With the Most Believer applications, perhaps they could consider stories that intertwine so that members could actually connect with other members. In terms of moderation, I can see that there are a few moderators. Again, remember this is a smaller community, so they don't need as many moderators right now compared to the Doge Pound. So it's good to see that at least there are moderators in the group and that I have looked and I can see that they are active. And I like to see moderators that are online. There should be at least 1 to 2 moderators online at any time. So currently I'm looking at a time where it's pretty crazy timing around certain parts of the world and there's still mods awake. So I'm happy to see that. I personally think both projects have a lot of potential. There's just some improvements that I would be encouraging on both sides. From Slumdoge Billionaires perspective, I would be encouraging more sense of belonging, more sense of connection between the members that I think the Doge Pound actually does pretty well. And on Doge Pound's side of things, I would be encouraging them to create more of a vision. Slumdoge does that really well. They clearly state how obsessed they are with Doge and everything around Doge. And I think the Doge Pound could also include that, especially in their Start Here section. So I would like to see more around that. So now I've gone through the communities, I've looked through them from an onboarding perspective, my initial reaction, how many channels they have, their activity, where to find the useful information, how they're moderating, the engagement strategies, and the content that they put out there. I need to choose who I believe would win if this was a community contest. I am going to give it to the Doge Pound. If they could just tweak some of their content to give me more behind the vision, I think they could really create a very, very strong sense of community. Slumdoge has huge potential. I love their branding. I think the website itself paints an incredibly strong picture as to their vision in the community. It's very clear to me who should belong here in this community. I love their branding, but I think that they still have a way to go to create a sense of belonging in the group. Perhaps that will come with time. It seems like the Doge Pound is an older community. I'm not going to say that either one of these projects is rubbish. I think they're both doing a great job. Community is also something that can get better with time and it can get worse. It really depends on the people that are managing the community, and this can change at any moment. So please keep that in mind. I'd love to know, do you agree with what I've said? Tell me in the comments, are you team Slumdoge or are you team the Doge Pound? Let me know and tell me why. Tell me why you're so passionate. I would love to hear from you. And heck, maybe I might invest in one of the projects if you convince me. Obviously, I recommend that you do your own research on both of these projects yourself before investing in either of them. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been really, really fun to compare these two awesome NFT projects. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye for now.